482 runs is what India has given the target to the Englishmen. 53 for 3 already. Jack Leach was sent out there in the middle as a night watchman. But let me tell you one thing, he was able to survive just one delivery and he was sent back to the pavilion. But the hero of day 3 of the second test match has to be none other than Ravi Ashwin. What a scintillating innings this has been from him. 106 came from his bat. 5 in the first innings, has already picked a wicket. And to discuss all of it, I've of course been joined in with our cricket expert, Monty Panesar. Monty, what a day this has been from India. What a comeback into this test series.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant day for India. I think yesterday a lot of the people in the media, commentary box and journalists were not happy with the pitch. They felt like how do you score runs on the beach? And I guess Virat Ashwin can absolutely tell you, how to score runs in Chennai. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. An innings which showed that if you apply yourself, if you have a game plan, use your feet to sweep. The sweep shot is very effective on this wicket. When the India were in trouble, you can see Ashwin straight. The intent, it's the intent when he first came out to bat, swept the ball. He just swept it. He was good stride forward, and went down the wicket as well. And I think that's the difference where you see with England and India at the moment. It's just like the intent of yesterday, with Moeen Ali, he gets into his spell, but he bowls full tosses, he bowls short balls, then he bowls a great delivery, to get wickets. But I just thought in general Moeen Ali bowled a bit too slow. I think he needs to bowl a little bit more quicker. We saw how his action was in 2016. He has a bit more of a leap, a bit more square on. He, just has a bit more energy on it. And this time around, he kind of feel like he sort of ambles into the crease, a bit front on, and not so aggressive in his follow through. And I think that's, you can see, that arm speed as well from a technical point of view, why the Indian spinners are just getting a bit more fizz and drop on the ball.
But what is going wrong for England? Because if I actually see this test series, the first game was also played in Chennai and Englishmen were very satisfied. But in the second test match, everything seems to be going against them, whether it's bowling or batting or even fielding for that matter of fact.
Yeah, there's been some crucial drop catches of, Stuart Broad. The question I would like to ask is why didn't Stuart Broad open the bowling? He created a couple of chances, in a space of 2 overs. And, Ashwin got dropped, that crucial drop. And if he came on a little bit earlier, using that new ball, I think he would have caused a lot of problems. But, the pitch is spinning, turning. So it's a difficult one. You probably, when you see that ball fizz, past you and Ben Folkes, he did brilliantly today, as a keeper. So that's the kind of things that, as a captain, you think, well, I'm probably better off, giving the spinners the new ball.
Well, absolutely. Monty, there is a trending news which is actually there in the market. And if I don't ask you, then I will not be doing justice to my profession. Monty, Stuart Broad and Ben Stokes have liked a tweet on Twitter and that says that Indian pitches, this pitch is not that good for both the sides. And they have liked that tweet. Now, what I want to understand from you is you have played in England, you have played in India. When India travels to England, when the ball seams, the pitch is said great. But when the ball spins in India, it is called a bad wicket. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think that's a great question. We had a similar incident in 2017, England versus South Africa at Trent Bridge. 15 wickets fell. It was a green wicket, but people didn't say too much about the wicket. I think they talked more about the skill of bowling, And I think here, it's the skill of spin bowling again, because you look how Indian spinners, they actually don't want the ball to turn and bounce. You can see the change in the seam position. The seam position is much more, I think it's more sort of pointing towards square leg and with action more towards point. So the ball just turns enough to get the edge or skids on, if it doesn't hit the seam. I think that sort of delivery is much more dangerous. And I didn't really see Jack Leach bowl any arm balls, cross seamers, the non-turner. He kept on bowling from the same position, from the crease. He didn't really change any positions, getting closer to the stumps. And only when Moeen Ali came on, after, I thought after an hour when, Virat Kohli was batting, he came round the wicket and he really sort of, changed the angle and got the LBW. But I just think that they once the Indian batsmen get settled, it's the English spinners don't really use other variations to to get the Indian batsmen thinking differently.
Monty, my next question to you. I think both India and England, they are playing for World Test Championship spot. And now it wouldn't be wrong to say that after winning that first Test match, England was able to occupy the first position in the rankings. Now it was very important for a side like England to win the second one to stay in the contest. Now if you will see, the dynamics of that rankings will eventually change after their loss, which seems to be on cards, if it's fair to say. Monty, do you think putting somebody like Dom Bess out of the picture, Jimmy Anderson not playing, Jofra Archer getting injured, do you think that was the right time to probably keep somebody like Jimmy Anderson out of the picture when you already know that Jofra Archer cannot play the game?
Well, this is my point, that it's this game is actually very much based upon the toss. India were fortunate they won the toss. If they lost the toss, I think England would have been probably not in such a dominant position. But yeah, India would have been difficult to actually win this game. So they're fortunate. It's a huge call, to produce a turning pitch and then backing yourself to win the toss. So yeah, that kind of went India's way. But then I think what kind of exposed, is actually England. How they play spin. Their sort of mindset to spin. It's more the attitude. You may have a turning track, but it's how your mindset is to think, right, guys, this is our technique, this is our game plans. Then sort of thinking about, oh yeah, but by the way, it's a 3-day test match, 4-day. This is not really test cricket. I don't think anyone complains when it's a green pitch and then test cricket finishes in 3 days, 3.5 days. When the ball is seaming around. So I think it's more of a. I think it's difficult. It's difficult because the England batsmen they don't have the technique like the Indian batsmen against spin. They don't go really deep into the crease or go forward. They go half measures because in English pitches the ball doesn't turn as much, so you don't have to go so deep or so forward. But in Indian pitches, yeah, you have to.
Well, absolutely. I will be asking a couple of questions more, Monty, to you. But before that, I need to show my users the scorecard as what exactly happened today. Yes, of course, India was batting and 286 is what they managed in the second innings. Rohit Sharma couldn't manage much. 26 of 70 deliveries for Rohit Sharma. Shubman Gill was out at 14. Then, of course, Cheteshwar Pujara was a little unlucky. 7 of 23 deliveries. Virat, the run machine, Kohli, 62 of 149 deliveries. He's chasing for that 100, but it will be interesting to see whether he gets it in the third or the fourth test match. Rishabh Pant, Ajinkya Rahane and Axar Patel were not able to score much, but then just see Ravi and Ashwin, 106 runs, 148 deliveries, 14 boundaries and one massive six, which eventually led India to give a massive target to the Englishmen. Not much to see in the England bowling card except for Jack Leach and Moeen Ali's performance, 4 each for both of them. And then, of course, England 53 for 3. Rory Burns, Dom Sibley and Jack Leach are already back to the pavilion. Daniel Lawrence and Joe Root still out there in the middle. Ishant Sharma hasn't picked the wicket yet. Axar Patel have picked 2, and of course Ravichandran Ashwin has picked 1. We are talking on day 3 stumps. Monty, second last question to you. We all saw what happened in the finals over of this test match on day 3. There was a ball which was coming into Joe Root, and that was given umpire's call, and it was clearly seen that it was hitting the stumps. Virat Kohli was seen arguing, or rather putting his point to the umpire as well. What are your thoughts? What is umpire's call actually in DRS? Because this is unfair on the bowlers because they are doing so much because it's already a batsman friendly game, even if we accept it or not. And then something of this sort happens, and then bowler is all over the place. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, the umpires, they do a good job, and sometimes it becomes difficult with the crowd noise, so many people around the bat. You're not going to pick up on noises or little, catching of the glove or hitting of the bat. And Ajinkya Rahane was another example. They didn't look at the other angle because sometimes, there's so much going on, on these kind of pitches. And even this time round, where it was the umpire's call, but a lot of people think that was, out. It was like more than half of the ball was, in line with the stump. So look, the pitch is obviously, it kind of affects, I think umpiring decisions. Earlier Virat Kohli went on the danger, ran across the danger end, and then, had a bit of an argument with the umpires. And again, he's doing that. I think, he should sort of just, calm down a little bit, because it doesn't look, good for the game when you're kind of questioning the umpire's decisions.
Well, absolutely, Monty. Final question to you. For the England fans, of course, is there something left? Is there anything dramatic still left? 53 for 3 England. Can they survive 2 days? Can they produce something dramatic which we have never seen in Test cricket?
Well, I think it's going to be a difficult task. But look at the likes of Dan Lawrence. He's plays on turning pitches at Essex. He's plays club cricket where I've played against him, and the ball turns and bounces like this. So you can see how he had confidence just come down the wicket, hit Axar Patel across the line, because he knows how to play with different angles, and then that's what they've got to do. They've got to go out there, have a game plan, and try and learn something of how to play on these pitches and show a bit of fight. Yeah, look, it'll be difficult to win this game, but if every player in the England team can learn something about themselves to play, to become a better player on these spinning decks, especially the younger players, I think that would be really good, for the England selectors and the captain Joe Root to know more about their team.
Well, absolutely. It will be very interesting to see if England can do something very dramatic in this second Test match. As of now, it's looking all India, because England requires another 429 runs with 3 batsmen already back to the pavilion. And it will be very interesting to see if we can see a smile on Monty's face tomorrow when we will be talking to him. Thank you so much, Monty, for always being so kind. Thank you so much to Monty channel as well, with whom we are doing this great post shows. So thank you so much for everything. We'll be back soon.
Cheers, mate.